favor. Just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
Well, good evening, Sigma Race fans. We come at you here live tonight in Pocono for the regular season finale. We got a couple drivers still alive in the mix to try and take home the regular season title. Snake Plissken and Cannon Gage both on the front row here. They're going to need Sebastian Galloway Jr. to finish worse than 25th here tonight and a race win with max points. They could take the title. Also, Jimmy Logano's team driver, Joey Johnson, here tonight also has a shot. As long as Sebastian Galloway Jr. finishes 9th or worse, Joey would have to win the race here tonight to win the regular season title. And so 100 laps here tonight, the final cut, 250 here for the Sigma Bridge to Cup Series regular season. And let's get through the starting lineup here tonight. Starting on the front row, you got Cannon Gage alongside Snake Plissken, both of which hunting for that regular season title. Last week's winner, Shy Turtle at Las Vegas, starting right there alongside Ralph Oberstadt. Both of these drivers kind of a sleeper. They could be a threat to win the race. They could be a threat to win the title. Then you have Santi Messi and Jonah Burridge, followed by the other two title contenders here tonight, Joey Johnson alongside Sebastian Galloway Jr., featuring his brand new Pontiac paint scheme here tonight with EA Sports on the hood. Then it is Billy Lovejoy and Alex Sanvital, followed by Lefty Turner and Sarah Taylor. Philip Purpura and Alan Malcolm, Krista Cower and Finley Herwig. Chase Kovacic and Silent Amethyst with Andrew Moger and Campbell Marsh behind that. You got Trevor Vaden and Ryan Little, Ryan White and Justin Daytu. Cam Jordan and Tim Morse, Timothy Buchanan and Jason So. Jeffrey Gerald and Jack Davis, two teammates there. Kat Durham and Kyler Sestre, followed by Adam Starr, Davian West, and Eli the Wolf here tonight. Your full field for 100 laps this evening.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
So definitely a lot that could play out here tonight. Hopefully everyone has had a wonderful week here so far tonight. We are going to be laying it on heavy with the extra racing to get caught up back to square zero with all the races that have fallen behind just by the wayside here. So we got the Bridge to Cup regular season finale. We got a Cup race and maybe even some ARCA races mixed in there to close out this long night of racing. But before then, we got to get through this Bridge to Cup finale here tonight. 6 races remain after Pocono here, and it'll be the Chase, which will come later on towards the end of August, maybe the 1st of September, and we'll try to figure out your title winner. But right now, regular season finale, regular season championship on the line. Cannon Gage off to the early lead here. The other drivers that do not need any bad luck breaks here tonight include the 82 of Joey Johnson, the 95 Sebastian Galloway Jr. A little bit further back in qualifying, but they've got the speed, they've got the ability. They will find their way to the front before too long and be a contender for tonight's race. Already 2 laps into today's race here at Pocono. Chase Kovacic with the fastest lap, a 56.643. And new race leader, Shy Turtle, wasting no time getting up to the front here from top 5 to first place in the matter of 3 laps. Moving up in position right behind him is Santi Messi. Santi Messi, the last driver in on points at the moment, and could win here today and lock himself in, and would knock someone else out, believe it or not, as we would still have, I think, 13 winners. But if the regular season title goes to Sebastian Galloway Jr., then it would eliminate a driver with a win. This season has definitely been an interesting one. Shy Turtle with 2 wins, looking for race win number 3. Cannon Gage has had 3 wins this season. Joey Johnson has had 4, and Snake Plissken has had 4. But of course, your points leader in 23 races, Sebastian Galloway Jr. with 0 wins. It's quite amazing. And he is trying his best to do the Matt Kenseth method here in Bridge to Cup 2026 without a win. I mean, he's going even a step further than Matt Kenseth was able to back in the 2003 season when Matt Kenseth won the championship, the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship, with 1 win. Sebastian, he wants to go another step further than that and try to win the championship with 0 wins. Consistency has been the king for that 95 team. Their average finish through 23 races this season has been an average of 9th, which is simply amazing. Second in the points, of course, none other than the 82 of Joey Johnson, who's been up front fighting for wins and whatnot. His average finish has also been 9th, but it's been mixed in with a lot more devastating lows than what Sebastian has. Sebastian has had a 30th, but every other finish has been in the top 15 this year, which is simply absurd. You think about it. Top 15 and 1/30th finish, that's his entire season. 22 races in the top 15, 1 race in the top 30, and that 95 is your points leader because of it. Look at that, Joey Johnson making some moves. He knows that the title, the regular season title, is in his potential target site here. He knows he's got to win this race, and he's going to need a little bit of bad luck to fall upon Sebastian Galloway Jr. Sebastian knows exactly what he must do here tonight, featuring that new paint scheme. EA stepped in once they realized that they might have a winner in the method of the 95 team, Pontiac there, Black Storm Motorsports, and Sebastian Galloway Jr. It's definitely been a game changer to get some sponsors on board. The Dogecoin has led him this far, and now it's time to bring it home, to cash it in. And with EA Games on the side, you know those microtransactions are going to be a little bit deeper, a little bit more money being put into the car itself. And so, yeah, fueled by Dogecoin and EA Sports. Quite the combination for sponsorship there, 95 team. 3 wide for 4th place. Santi Messi and Sebastian. Has been a rivalry all season long between those two. But here comes Chase Kovacic roaring around the inside. That's going to open the door for Chase Kovacic and possibly even Billy Lovejoy just right behind him. 3 wide still as they go 3 wide into turn 2 now. Sebastian, the meat in the middle of the sandwich. And this typically is kind of the trouble land if you get stuck 3 wide here going into turn 3. But he settles into 2 wide and has kind of a clean opening if he can get there and take it. 100 laps here at Pocono can go by in a blitz, or it could drag on for a long time, depending on how many cautions we get here tonight. And look at that, Joey Johnson going for the race lead. We already know the circumstances. He's got to win the race, get max points, and have the 95 finish 8th or worse. Well, already trying to knock off 1 check mark on the bucket list here tonight. maybe not a bucket list. Check mark on the to-do list. Bucket list insinuates that you're kicking the bucket, but he ain't kicking the bucket anytime soon. Quite the opposite. He's living it large here in Pocono. 82 takes the lead. You're going to be able to lead a lap, get the bonus point tied to that. And while that happens, believe it or not, Sebastian falls right to the worst case scenario position he needs not to fall back to. With him, he's going to have to finish 8th or better. So 8th is actually still okay. If he finishes 9th, though, that is where the trouble happens. So this could be nearly a tiebreaker if the tiebreaker then would go to the 82, who's won races this year, unlike Sebastian, who is winless. Pretty wild. And I didn't do the math on all the circumstances. All I did was, if you win the race, you have to finish X amount of spots ahead of the competition. And for Joey Johnson, gets the lap lead, and that is a bonus point that Sebastian does not have. So points against Sebastian by the lap lead there. Leads it briefly, and it takes back Shy Turtle to the top spot. And Joey Johnson falling backwards here. So those of you that are watching here tonight, it's going to be kind of spoiler-free evening. We'll try not to post on the server until tomorrow so that Sebastian has a chance to check it out. But for those of you that are tuned in here tonight, you'll get to see it live and in person, right to the line. You'll know who's locked in because I'll be able to crunch those numbers before we go off the air, and we'll make the announcement sometime tomorrow. So already 1/10 of the way here tonight. Shy Turtle leads over Snake Plissken. Up into 3rd, it is Chase Kovacic trying to reclaim some of his strength that has been lost throughout the season here, as Joey Johnson falls back to 4th. Ralph Oberstadt duking it out with the other Dale Sr. / Dale Earnhardt kind of inspired paint schemes there in the Intimidante of Cannon Gage, honoring the scheme that was run by Carson Hocevar to win Talladega earlier this season in real life. I definitely dig the paint scheme game here in Bridge to Cup. We got quite the colorful cast of paint schemes, and it's always fun to watch each and every Bridge to Cup car compete for the race wins here. We do have Music Fest Grand Prix coming up in October once again. It has been a staple in the Sigma Cup Series since 2022. So this will be the 4th iteration of what, when it first came out, was known as the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame race. We decided to differentiate ourselves from the corporate America world and come up with our own concept, come up with our own name, and hence the Music Fest Grand Prix was born. Not to be confused with the Music City Grand Prix, which is IndyCar's running of Nashville. Music Fest is our own special, maybe I need to get it trademarked, copyrighted, I don't know, but it's our own event, Music Fest Grand Prix, where all the cars are painted up with music and bands and artists as the paint schemes for each and every car on the racetrack. Quite the neat ordeal. Already, here we go. Battle for the lead again. Shy Turtle was holding it, but now Snake Plissken wants it. Snake with 4 wins this season. He could really put himself in an echelon of his own if he were to get win number 5 here tonight. Those wins definitely credit you a bunch of bonus points rolling into the chase. So Snake Plissken may not be seated very high at the moment, but when you apply the bonus points with each and every win, he'd be sitting pretty. And so I'm going to have to go through scoring tonight after this race is over And nothing's going to be official until tomorrow morning when I can make the post after hopefully Sebastian has seen the race. So thanks for those that have tuned in here tonight. And luckily, you know kind of the circumstances at hand, who is in the mix for the title, and what needs to fall upon them to actually have a shot. It's crazy that we got Snake Plissken leading this race, Joey Johnson in third, Cannon Gage in fifth, and even Sebastian Galloway Jr. in seventh. And for Sebastian, all he needs to do today is finish in the top 8, which he has been doing all season long. Like I said, his worst finish this season has been a 30th. Other than that, every other finish of the 22 races, not including that one, have been a top 15, which is just a unusually great season. Most people don't have a season that great, where they stay out of trouble, keep their nose clean, and rack up all those top 15s. You know, honestly, that is a more telling stat than even top 5s and top 10s, is if you can stay in the top 15 year-round, boy golly. I mean, that's, you know, running midfield even. And what we have is usually a 35-car field. So 15th is still respectable and moderately, decent a decent night, decent day, no matter what track you're at. Well, Shy Turtle back to the top spot. Joey Johnson moving back up to second. It's crazy to think that we've had such a great season. Another season almost kind of winding down here at the end of the year. So much to look forward to in 2027. A lot of great moments from this year that we can carry into next year. I think what's going to be most impressive is seeing the growth and seeing who makes that move up the ladder. Here with the Bridge to Cup Series, obviously the title, that grand prize for winning the regular season, or actually not the regular, the grand prize for winning the overall championship, which means winning the chase, is that free berth up into the Cup Series. So whoever wins it here in Bridge to Cup will be a full-time Cup driver next season, 2027. As we have kind of a little lull in the racing action here, let us go ahead and take a look at the pit crew notes here for Pocono. You can see 40 laps the distance on a 22-gallon tank. So truly a two-stopper, no matter how you slice it or dice it. And would put you at about a 20-lap window at the end of the night if things stayed green all the way, that you could just kind of bank on that strategy call. Maybe even break it into a nearly a 3-stop race where you go 35, 35, and then 30 to go to the end there. That would at least give you the opportunity to be on fresh tires the longest for each stint here. So 100 laps at Pocono, definitely kind of a strategy game for sure. Well, I guess happy summer to everyone too. It's been kind of a bit since I've been in the streaming booth, and it's technically the official first week of summer. 21st of June and on. Summer definitely my favorite time of the season. I much prefer the heat over the cold. And so this first run tonight is going to be very telling on figuring out where the strategies are going to shake up. Some drivers may decide to stretch it all the way to lap 40. Some may be opening that window here in about 10 laps around lap 30 to actually get off strategies. So it's kind of wild here. Shy Turtle, all of a sudden, momentum is on his side. Hasn't had quite the momentum in his favor lately, but all of a sudden, Shy Turtle, his last couple of races have obviously amounted in a win at Las Vegas. Ran up front Ricky Raceway, led some laps, and ultimately wound up 19th, but also had a 4th at Brands Hatch just about 3 weeks ago. So getting hot at the right time definitely helps in the conversation for the title. Ricky Raceway was kind of the spoiler race for most of the drivers. They didn't have a great night at Ricky Raceway, which that in its own is always a wild card race. It's a good thing that Ricky Raceway is not part of the chase, or else you might have some disgruntled drivers heading into Ricky Raceway during a chase race where they need all the points they can get. So yeah, Joey Johnson, Cannon Gage, Snake Plissken, and Ralph Oberstadt, followed by Lefty Turner, Shy Turtle, Chase Kovacic, Krista Cower, Campbell Marsh, Cam Jordan. Those are your 10 drivers locked in. So I was mistaken. There would not be anyone knocked out, but a race win here tonight will lock you into the chase. So some drivers on the outside looking in that could use a win here tonight would be like Philip Purpura, Alex Samvital, Billy Lovejoy. Billy Lovejoy feeling like his teammate out exceeding him this season in the 82. Would love to have a shot to get into the mix with his championship title contending teammate. Even Jonah Burge. I mean, all these drivers out there on the field with 0 wins this year, all they got to do is get a win here tonight, and they're locked into the chase. But this is their last opportunity. No more opportunities after tonight. The field gets whittled down to 12 for the title contenders, and the rest of the field will just be out there trying to collect a paycheck. Top 3 as they run right now, all race winners on the season. Top 4, top 5, top 6, or top 6 actually, all with a race win this season, showing their muscle, showing their might, being the stars of the show every week, and they're going to be rolling in with momentum on their side for the chase. You look a little bit further back, the only one separating your top 10 without a win is the 84 of Santi Messi in 7th there. Otherwise, everyone else in the top 10 have been to victory lane this season. So, pretty wild. The regular season of the trucks have wound to a close. ARCA, we're getting down to the end of their complete season. No gimmicks in the ARCA side, no chase, no playoffs. It is just a full 26 race calendar with one exhibition race at the end of the year to kind of figure out the best of the best. And then, of course, the Sigma Cup Series will continue on throughout the rest of the year. It'll just be spread out a little bit more. That way we can kind of still do it at our slower pace rather than rush it along. These last couple weeks have been a bit on rush mode, and hopefully everyone understands. It's just been kind of crazy trying to get things caught up for the big life changes ahead. Well, we are a quarter of the way through tonight's race here from Pocono, the final cut 250. And getting good up front here as there's some battles starting to brew for the top spots. Well, here we have it. Joey Johnson back to the top spot again, followed by Chase Kovacic, Shy Turtle, and it looks like Ralph Overstat making a move on the 81 for 4th place. That leaves back in 6th at the moment Sebastian Galloway Jr., followed by Cannon Gage in 7th. Top 7, all race winners on the season looking to add to their tally. Shy Turtle trying to get back up to 2nd here. Ralph Overstat with a little bit of clear track ahead and maybe even some lap traffic to deal with here later. Eli the Wolf in the 00 could be a rolling roadblock here for your leaders. Well, the battle up front getting good again here as Shy Turtle takes back over the top spot, and Ralph Oberstadt moving up on into 2nd. Flat tire by the 81 of Snake Plissken. So his strategy starts now. He ends up with a flat tire on lap 34. And because of this flat tire, he slows way down, gets into the grass, and actually had to get the tow truck. He loses a lap, everyone else pitting the very next lap after him. So, man, if only that tire could have held on for another lap. Everyone else making their pit stops right now here at lap 35. Rolling back out there, it looks like the 99 of Shy Turtle is going to get back out with the race lead, followed by Ralph Oberstadt, Chase Kovacic, and Sebastian Galloway Jr. with Krista Cower would be your likely top 5. Actually, Krista Cower a lap down. She's going to cycle back in a lap down here. This window pretty much puts us at that 2-stop window. We're probably going to see them pit again at around lap 70 and give them all the green to go to the finish. 0 cautions here so far. Coming out with the second round of pit stops. 82 of Joey Johnson rolls out third. Wow, what in the world's going on here? How many people have stayed out? Holy cow. The other half of the field stayed out here, so that's how things got so far off kilter. Finally, they're swapping the tires here on Snake Plissken as he falls a lap or 2 down. But it's going to get back around here to Shy Turtle as your race leader once he crosses the start-finish line. First place, Shy Turtle. Second place, Ralph Oberstadt. This right here is another rivalry in the field. Kind of like with Sebastian and Santi Messi, we've got Shy Turtle and Ralph Oberstadt. Ralph, his nickname for the 99 is Slow Turtle. And, you know, turtles are slow. Shy Turtle tries to buck the odds with that, that assumption that all turtles are slow, but for him, he's out there racing for wins, and I think it's a little bit on the personal side. Ralph wants to beat him, hands down. They're teammates, but they're rivals, and the 3 feels like he's been shorted. He's been slighted that he doesn't have the best equipment on the team. The Canadian guy gets all the good shit, and it's crazy, you know? They're teammates, but they're not at the same time, and it's always fun to see the banter back and forth between the two. And so for Shy Turtle, leading the race right now, it ain't gonna be no easy defense of the race win here, as Ralph Oberstadt would like to rack up race number 3 and be basically one-on-one with his teammate rival with 3 wins apiece. As all the pit stops cycled through, let's go through the field here at lap 39. Race leader, Shy Turtle, followed by Ralph Oberstadt. Then it is Krista Cower in 3rd place, impressively enough, followed by Joey Johnson in 4th, Sebastian Galloway Jr. in 5th, and Chase Kovacic in 6th. That's Alex Sanvital, who had a killer pit stop, moving up through the field into the top 7. Can engage, fighting with Santi Messi for 8th and 9th. Snake Plissken a couple laps down now in 35th. If he gets some cautions, he can maybe get back on the lead lap. Flat tire definitely knocked him out of the groove here tonight. Followed by Billy Lovejoy rounding out your top 10. Then it is Philip Purpura, Ryan White, followed by Lefty Turner, Jonah Burridge and Sarah Taylor, Trevor Vaden and Alan Malcolm, Campbell Marsh with Finley Herwig, Justin Day 2, and Kat Durham. Then it's Jeffrey Gerald, Ryan Little, Tim Morse, Silent Amethyst, Kyler Sestrate, Timothy Buchanan, Cam Jordan with Adam Starr, Andrew Moger, Jack Davis, and Jason So. Davian West rounding out the field there. as we are slowly approaching halfway here tonight. The Canadian Turtle up front leading this thing, putting on a master class at the front of the field so far. Laps led here, 34 laps by Shy Turtle. Only other driver close to that has been 8 laps led by Joey Johnson. Amazingly enough, so Shy Turtle has been the dominant one here tonight. But he's going to have his hands full with some contenders looking to rack up bonus points here before the chase kicks into overdrive in the next month or two. As things set right now, Sebastian doing everything he must to win the regular season title, as he is also ahead of Joey Johnson, just desperately hoping for the race to come to him. But at this point, Sebastian just needs to get a top 8 here tonight, and it's his, all his, in the book. No cautions yet here tonight in Pocono. 250 miles the distance here tonight. And look at that. I think the gap's starting to shrink just a little bit here between Ralph Overstat and Shy Turtle. So we could have a battle brewing on our hands here shortly. Yeah, before long, Shy Turtle might end up racking up led most laps here tonight with little competition. As we get towards that halfway point, then all he's got to do is maintain the lead a little bit longer, and he has got the bonus points tied down, which will actually push everyone else's requirements a little bit further back. If the 99 of Shy Turtle gets most laps led here tonight, the worst that Sebastian can finish at that point would be 9th, and maybe even 10th for that matter. Since pole position went to the likes of, I want to say it was Cannon Gage here today, and Snake Plissken was on the front row, but those bonus points for pole position only belong to Cannon Gage, who would have to win this race and lead laps, obviously. But at this point, led most might be locked away. Halfway through here tonight, 50 laps to go after 50 laps in the books. Your top 2 pretty tight, could get interesting here for the race win before too long. Next round of green flag pit stops likely to come around lap 70 here tonight, so we still got another 20 laps before pit stops start to factor in once again. But Sebastian doing everything he must to maintain the regular season championship. As for Snake Plissken, it's, Heartbreak Hotel, getting a flat tire and going all the way to the back. It's really only going to dig him a deeper hole going into the chase, because he's going to lose so many points here at the conclusion of the regular season. And with our chase, we actually implement a system where we reward the regular season point standings. And the reset pretty much acknowledges your deficit to the points leader. And then we shrink it, we cut it down, divide it by 4, And then you get, the round to the highest number, not the lowest, and you get the deficits back, but much smaller. And so we basically quarter it. If you had a 50-point lead, you would have a 15-point deficit or a lead then after that division of 4. .5. Had to math a little harder in the head. Shy Turtle doing a great job holding the lead. Lap traffic will be factoring probably in another 15 laps, it looks like. But then they would be coming down pit road around then anyways. So how much of a factor will the lap traffic be when it falls on green flag pit stops? It's kind of crazy. The lap traffic we had last round didn't even factor in because they made their pit stops right when they caught them. So that could happen again here pretty easily. Cannon Gauge still with the fastest lap here tonight, a 53.856. 53 laps in the books. Here we have a battle brewing for third place. It looks like the two of Cannon Gauge going around the 95. Try and get third place here. Lap 55. Makes the move, settles in to third, and drops Sebastian Galloway Jr. back to fourth. Of the Bridge to Cup season does not get any easier after tonight. Obviously the points reset with the chase, and then we will go to a short track to open up the first round of the chase, which will be in Meridian, Idaho. Follow that up with the ever unpredictable Talladega. So kind of like Ricky Raceway, I was talking about how unpredictable it was. Well, drivers do still have to deal with one track that is completely a crapshoot, and that will be Talladega for round number 2. Then we will go to Charlotte for the Soda Pop 300, Michigan for the Motor City 300. So a pair of races with some distance and a lot on the line, as that's kind of your mid-season of the chase. Follow it up with Toronto on a road circuit, street course in Toronto. The Maple Leaf 113, and we will close it out, the home for Sigma Racing. The Moses Lake Motorplex will host its first ever series finale, and it'll be this year's Bridge to Cup title on the line. Should be interesting to see as we bring them all to Moses Lake, the home of Sigma Racing, to crown a champion. And who knows if we crown a champion a week early in Toronto, or maybe even a couple weeks early in Michigan if someone really goes on a tear and has a big enough points advantage. You never know. But the idea of the chase is supposed to hit the reset button and give drivers that one more shot to try and, you know, make up for a bad season that they may have had this year. Sebastian has definitely been tough to beat, but without a race win, how far is that going to take him in the chase? Will he need to get that race win to secure the title? That's usually the grand question. Most critics of motorsports will argue that you need to win a race to win the championship, but that isn't wholly, you know, accurate. You never know. Typically, consistency is weighted with a little bit more importance than winning, because sometimes you might win and you might be a checkers or wreckers type of driver. You might get 10 wins in a season, but you also might get 10 DNFs. And that really makes it hard to crown a champion based on winning merit alone. So, the way Sebastian's done it this year, yes, he's likened himself to Sheldon Creed, although Sheldon Creed's never been in the mix for a title hunt quite like Sebastian. So, Sebastian has kind of put himself in rare air that not even Sheldon Creed can touch. Finally broke through and won that truck race at the home track, Brands Hatch, just a couple weeks ago. And carried that momentum with him here in the Bridge to Cup Series. Continues to run up front. Has finished runner-up yet again a couple more times. And with tonight's race, you never know. He could find himself back in second in his very familiar territory, fighting for the race win that could get really close to making that dream come true. As we approach lap 60, that'll mean 10 laps left before pit stops are factoring in again. At the moment, Ralph Oberstadt with a 55.27 and Shy Turtle at a 55.21. My wager is they were going to catch this lap traffic at about lap 67, and man, we're almost on pace for that. As you can see here at lap 60, you can see them ever closer to the front of the field. And in a situation like this, do you actually go off strategy and pit early? Knowing that you can go about 40 laps on a run here, that'd be pushing it. You want to try to make 35 and 35 so that you're pretty much going the perfect distance on each stint here tonight. That's kind of where these drivers are at, is making it a perfect three-stop, or, you know, three-run race basically with 2 stops in the middle. Shy Turtle left the team there. That is his old car in the 00. He was running that Polaris Chevrolet for All Canadian Racers. Team owner Eli the Wolf. And as you can see there, Eli going yet another lap down here tonight. He left that team, and it's been nothing but success ever since. The 99 looking good. In the contention for a title this year. We will see what he's got under his sleeve when the chase hits in a couple months. As for Snake Plissken, not getting that lucky break that he was hoping for, going a lap down with a flat tire. He would need a caution and then a little bit more luck to get himself through the field here tonight. 2 laps down. It's going to be a long night for the 81 of Snake Plissken. Tough break. It really, something that's so far out of your control. It just happened to happen tonight of all nights with the regular season on the line. '99 makes the move around the 55 here. And it's quite a ways back to Ken Gage and Sebastian Galloway Jr. As you can see, the gap has spread out pretty massively from second to third. Well, last pit stops are likely to be coming here any time now. After lap 65 and on, we should see the last round of green flag pit stops. No cautions here tonight. Pretty wild. Stuck behind the 00 there of Eli the Wolf, Sebastian Galloway Jr. hemorrhaging positions here right now as he falls all the way back to about 8th. Finally steering clear of Eli the Wolf and the 00. Gets to reset, recalculate, and try to close back in on those ahead of him. Well, tonight's race definitely blown by at rapid speed here around Pocono. We're setting a rapid pace here tonight for a grand total of average mile per hour rating of 161.787. So averaging right now 161 miles an hour around Pocono with pit stops and all that factored in as well. For Shy Turtle, looking to try and get that 4th win on the season where he could actually match Joey Johnson and Snake Plissken as drivers with 4 wins on the season. My bad, he's only got 2 wins so far. Joey Johnson and Snake Plissken do in fact have 4 apiece. Ken Gage would be the next driver to try and get to 4 wins if he were to get 1 more win in the books. He has 3. Ralph Oberstadt at 2, Shy Turtle at 2. So kind of a rubber match between the teammates that they're going to beat. You know, whoever wins will have 1 win more than their teammate. Ralph. I bet he gets very tired of seeing the Canadian flag ahead of him. Today, especially, that not Tom Hortons, Tim Hortons Canadian coffee machine. First takers for pit stops, the last of the night. 3 of Ralph Oberstadt taking the undercut on his teammate, the 99 of Shy Turtle. This could be a big game-changing move. Get the fresh tires, get out first on fresh tires, and try to get lap times better than your teammate, the 99. Good stop for the 3 as he rolls back out. 31 laps to go. We'll likely see Shy Turtle come in next lap. The only problem is this puts him in a bit of a danger zone if the rest of the field does not pit and there happens to be a caution. So kind of a small window of opportunity for other drivers to capitalize here, but could be a big game-changing move if it pays off for the number 3 team. Yeah, next lap, your leader's coming in on lap 70 here. And majority of the field is going to pit with the lead group here next time by lap 70. As you can see, Ralph almost in clear track ahead territory for him with the lap traffic next to him here. Are rolling faster. He's going to be able to have the one opportunity here to get around the 99 and never look back. Here at lap 70, 99 on his warm-up lap, the 3. Dialed in. Here we go. New race leader Ralph Oberstadt here with 29 laps left to go here tonight. And still not a single caution in sight. I don't know if we're going to get one or what's going to happen here, but it has been a very, very masterfully performed race so far. Clean, calm, and calculated. Should be Cannon Gage in 3rd, Joey Johnson in 4th, Santi Messi 5th, Krista Cower 6th, Chase Kovacic 7th, and Sebastian Galloway Jr. 8th. Alex Sanvital 9th, and Billy Lovejoy your top 10. But the transition of pit stops here could have been the big game-changing moment here tonight. The 3 of Ralph Oberstadt taking the undercut, taking the advantage away from his teammate, the 99 of Shy Turtle. And just like that, your new race leader here tonight, credited with a lap lead. He's going to be trying to close the gap, the regular season championship points gap, that is. He's 127 points back of Sebastian Galloway Jr. And with a little bit of luck, if he can get that shrunk down to like 112, divide that by 4, you'd only have a 28-point deficit to open the chase. Oh, but wait, you got to include the wins. And if he wins another race here tonight, each one of those counts as bonus points that will shrink that gap. And so he could be seated as high as maybe even 2nd or 3rd in the chase based on how the points all shake out here. especially with a struggling Snake Plissken here tonight. He is more than likely going to catch Snake Plissken in the overall points situation here. Snake sits 4th in the points, 54 points back, but Ralph Oberstadt 5th at 127 back with a big night here tonight. He might be as low as 100 points back from the points leader, and that, you know, just shrinks that deficit between him and 4th place Snake Plissken. But it ain't over until it's over. The 99 keeping it close, keeping it right there in his rear view mirror. The two teammates are going to duke it out for Courting Brothers Motorsports Cadillac. KBM has had a stellar season. They even had another driver in the form of Willow Blake, who had racked up a win for the team here. But since then, it's been Ralph Oberstadt, it's been Shy Turtle. Those two have been the class of the team, keeping the lights on with all their race wins racked up in the last several months. Here we go. This rivalry is going to get heated between the two teammates. They are not going to give up when it comes to fighting each other for the race win. Ralph has the lead, but for how long? The 99 blows by him here. They're going to drag race down the front stretch. 99 leads this lap. Shy Turtle took the advantage there at the start-finish line, and he's going to leave the 3 high and dry. That'll cause him to fall back in line to 2nd place as your leader resumes up at the front here, Shy Turtle. But the battle is on. Ralph is not going to give up without a fight, and lap traffic ahead could still be a huge factor in these final 25 laps here tonight. Other than that, no big drama for the title mix, as Joy Johnson in a must-win at this scenario to actually get more points over Sebastian. Can't engage in 4th, still in a must-win. Santi Messi, followed by Chase Kovacic, and it seems like Sebastian is kind of safetying up here. No reason to push it, put yourself in a mistake. Just kind of keep rolling here tonight and take what the race gives you. Dealing with the lap traffic here, Can't Engage might make a move on the inside of the 82. 82 stays high, stays ahead, and they go rolling through the turn here. '82 looking to make the pass on the lap car there of Jack Davis, as he will. Look how tight this battle for the race lead has gotten. Those two are bunched up nose to tail with very little gap between the two of them. Ralph keeping it interesting, knowing that this is his teammate. He's going to push the boundaries, but not too far, because he knows that the team will have to have that sit-down Monday morning conversation kind of deal. So do you play nice with your teammate, knowing that there's not that much on the line for an extra race win other than, you know, bonus points that'll help seed you better in the chase? Or do you save your stuff and try to fight hard during the chase and not ruffle feathers that could definitely hinder your chances going forward in the championship? Definitely doubt there's going to be a situation with Corey Heim and Carson Hocevar-esque here tonight at Pocono. You never know. Hit and run, bump and run for the race win. That's what these drivers want, is they want to get that victory. It doesn't matter how they get it sometimes. When they're up there in the heat of the moment, sometimes the aggression just comes out. Well, it might not be for the regular season title, but it is for all the marbles at the regular season finale here tonight. And Ralph and his teammate putting on a great show here. Although Shy Turtle has led most laps here tonight, that 3 not letting him get out of his sight. 64 laps led by Shy Turtle, 3 laps led by Ralph Overstat, 8 led by Joey Johnson, and 1 lap led by Cannon Gage. 1 lap also led by Billy Lovejoy during the process of pit stops. And that's it. You have 5 different race leaders here tonight. And with only 20 laps to go, someone's got to bring it home to victory lane. Well, 18 laps remaining here at Pocono for the final cut 250, and it's a battle of the teammates for KBM. 2 wins apiece so far, one of which will walk away with a 3rd win here tonight, unless we get a late race caution or something else wreaks havoc on your lead 2 here. The way that this is playing out is it could get really interesting as they catch up to the lap traffic in the closing laps here tonight. So don't tune out. Stay watching here, folks, as it could get interesting between the 2 of them. They have built a gap over 3rd place Cannon Gage, who is way back there, but lap traffic could slow them way up and put this race back in the hands of the other folks behind them. Still no cautions here tonight. These Bridge to Cup stars putting on a great showing without any chaos, no carnage, no wrecks, but we keep rolling. Mechanical failures, yes, but racing accidents, no. Cannon Gage with the fastest lap here tonight in 3rd place. He is just hoping for a lucky break, maybe a caution, maybe the lap traffic to really spoil the party here, as his distance back to third, quite daunting at the moment with 15 laps to go, but definitely not unachievable by any means, especially with anything could happen. Green-white checkers are in fact enabled in case we need them here tonight. Hopefully we do not. But here they are, reaching up to the lap traffic. In the midst of all this battling up front, the title hunt kind of going by quietly right now as Sebastian still holds on to a top 10 run here tonight. And without one of the three contenders winning the race here tonight, all he's got to do is maintain a top 9. Top 10 even, for the most part. Top 10, and he is your champion. They're closing in on the lap traffic. It's amazing that they haven't caught the lap traffic yet. Not only is the Turtle hunting for wins, he is hunting for a title. And someone in our final 12 in the chase will be getting their berth to the Cup Series in 2027. It'll be a spectacle to behold, seeing this championship go all the way down to the wire, coming home to Moses Lake Motorplex, and all of Sigma closing up their season there for Bridge to Cup. And I want to say the ARCA Series Cup will still close out their season at Indianapolis. Trucks will close out their season at Indianapolis. Yeah, for the most part, Indianapolis still the home of the series finale, as it has been for most series here, most seasons of Cup, that is. Alrighty, this is crunch time. We're getting right on down to the end of tonight's race. 250 miles of racing, 100 laps of grit and determination. These Bridge to Cup stars are going to be getting themselves seated for the Bridge to Cup chase. The full Send to Cup chase, that is. That is the title of our championship chase at the end of the year here. Full Send to Cup. And this race far from over, even though 11 laps left to go. That lap traffic looks dense. And they're running in the 55.8s, 55.5s. They're a full half second slower than your two race leaders who just turned 55, 54.9. So just give it another lap or two and they will be right in the thick of things with the lap traffic. They best keep it clean and not make a mistake here, because once you get into lap traffic, there's not any good way of getting out, because you get tangled up in a wreck, not if you're doing pretty quickly here. 10 to go. It looks like up to third now is the 82 of Joey Johnson, but it's a little too late to really make up max points here tonight. He's going to have a hard time getting around these two up front, and not able to make up most laps led here for the bonus points that go with it. Here we go. Battle's going to get good here as they are boxed in. This could help bring third place on back up into the mix as well as the laps dwindle down here. Shy is making the move, getting around some of the lap cars here, as is Ralph Oberstadt. In the distance back, you can see the 82. You can see the number 2. They're starting to work their way a little bit closer. But with 9 laps to go, not a lot of time to do it. Ralph has his sights set on the race lead. He's going to have to work for it. Going to have to earn it. No easy feat. Good run through turn 2 there, and he's got the momentum, but will he have the opportunity to pass? Man, it is amazing how clean Shy Turtle is making all of these passes on the lap cars. Ralph Oberstadt not putting a wheel wrong yet either, but not really getting a chance to fight fist for fist against the 99 there of Shy Turtle, his teammate. Shy Turtle looking to do what very few have done this season and win back-to-back races. We did see it earlier in the season with Campbell Marsh, and even Joey Johnson has done it this season as well. Back-to-back wins for Campbell Marsh to start the year. Back-to-back wins for the 82 of Joey Johnson. And tonight, if possible, it could be back-to-back wins for Shy Turtle. Also, I forgot to mention, there was back-to-back wins for Cannon Gage at one point this season as well. So the 8 went back-to-back, the 82 went back-to-back, the 2 went back-to-back, and, well, we'll see. Not over until it's over. And as you can see here, Ralph has an opportunity. He's got him boxed in on the high side. He's going to make the move in turn 2. Here with 6 laps to go. He's got the run. He's got the momentum. He's got the position. Takes the lead away from his teammate, Shy Turtle, here in the closing laps. But Shy Turtle is going to slice and dice his way back down the racetrack. Gets nearly right up to his back bumper. And the battle is on with 5 laps remaining. Most lap traffic kind of dwindling down here, but Ralph Oberstadt will lead lap 95 here tonight. Dealing with the slower traffic, the 65 of Cam Jordan here. He's going to have to make the move and get around the 65 ASAP, or the 99 will strike back. Bunched up going through turn 2. This could be problematic. But he's got another chance to build a gap on the 99 as he goes low on the 65. Almost a bump and run there. And he's got his free rein on the inside line. Four laps remaining here tonight in Pocono to crown the regular season before we go into the chase. Oh, and Shy Turtle's going to make the move. Try again here, side by side through the turn. 60 is going to drop low. The 3 is going to stay high. 60 stays high, and we are mano a mano against the two teammates here going down into turn 2. 60 stays high, drops low, cuts off the 99's run, and open track for the 3 of Ralph, but not going to be enough. It looks like they're going to come charging into turn 3. Shy Turtle, your leader once again here tonight. Man, it has been a tough battle between these two, and it seems like no matter what, Shy Turtle has the number to figure out his teammate here tonight. It's not over until it's over, but Shy Turtle has a big advantage now on that inside line. Ralph needs to find some open ground to get down low. He's going to be able to close in on the 60 and get down low here through turns 2 and possibly get around for turn 3. Shy Turtle, though, is going to get around the 85 of Timothy Buchanan. And as does Ralph follow suit, getting around his lap traffic partner there. Couple laps left to go here tonight. Shy Turtle back to the top spot. He has led a resounding 80 laps here tonight. Dominance from the 99 team. Well, with just a couple laps left to go, no white flag yet. Caution could still come through and push us into overtime here tonight. Lap 99 of 100. Ralph actually has to stay behind the 85 of Buchanan, which is kind of the kiss of death there. Not getting around lap traffic quick enough to catch up to the 99. His teammate leads here on lap 99. The Tim Hortons, number 99 for Courting Brothers Motorsports, has been on one lately. And we'll be looking here tonight to try and match what 3 other people have done this season, winning back-to-back races, back-to-back on a couple occasions this year. Crazy to think that it could potentially happen here to 4 different drivers, and all 4 of which are in the title conversation. White flag waves, 1 more lap to go here tonight in Pocono. You've got what you got. It's time to show it and close it out with a ribbon on top. The regular season title in the favor of your winless driver here tonight, Sebastian Galloway Jr. He's bringing it home with a solid top 10, continuing that average finish of 9th all year long here. Meanwhile, not much contest here between the 2 teammates. It was a good battle. They really put on a show here for us. Ralph led about 5 laps, but Shy Turtle led about 85 more. And here we go, coming around turn 3 for the last time here tonight. Shy Turtle is going to rack up race win number 3 and put himself in trajectory for the championship title as the chase comes up next in another month. Shy Turtle, back-to-back winner here. 4th time that's happened this year between 4 different drivers, followed by his teammate Ralph Oberstadt in 2nd. Then bringing it home in a solid, commendable 3rd place, Joey Johnson, but not enough to take the regular season title. Santi Messi will be racing with us in the chase as one of the drivers locked in on points. Cannon Gage also locked in on race wins. But there is your regular season champion. Sebastian Galloway Jr. gets to reap the benefits of being the regular season title holder. Not much of, notoriety, but it is pretty huge in, the grand scheme of the chase. Puts you in a position ahead of your competition, meaning, basically you just got to do the same thing you've been doing all year and continue it for 6 more races, and you could be the Sigma Bridge to Cup champion. Heartbreak for Snake Plissken, falling multiple laps down here tonight, finishing towards the bottom. Billy Lovejoy brings it home 7th. Alex Sanvital 8th. Chase Kovacic 9th. And Chris DeCower consistently keeping it top 10 here. Philip Purpura, Ryan White, Lefty Turner, Jonah Burridge, and Alan Malcolm, your top 15. So like I said, folks, it's going to be a day before I get everything finalized and posted on the server as to avoid spoilers. But we know for a fact who is your regular season champion. Sebastian Galloway Jr. pulling the Matt Kenseth without a win this season and could potentially pull off a championship with the consistency that he's been hammering in there. It's going to be interesting to see what he's got under his sleeve in the chase, and it'd be even cooler if he could pull the championship with no wins on a season. That would be the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. It's hard to beat. Something so astoundingly, seemingly impossible, but it is very possible. So that marks race number 24 of 30 with 6 races remaining. The 6 races being the chase, the Bridge to Cup, full send to Cup chase.
Do you have any ignition problems?
Well, that is a wrap for the Bridge to Cup regular season finale here tonight. Puts us into the full send to Cup chase coming later in August, possibly even early September, as we will figure out who your 2026 champion is with 6 races left to find it out. But this concludes this stream here tonight, and we are going to get closed up and rolling with the next one. So have a great night, everyone. Stay safe out there, and until next time, this is Jakester signing out.